It becomes, this is a note to everyone who's watching this YouTube video. Do not get stuck in a same company if you're not getting opportunities to learn. Learning is your key to success. If you don't learn, start looking out. Why? Because 2 years down the line, people are going to ask you what you have done for 2 years before. And it's not going to be like, वहां मुझे opportunities नहीं मिला तो वो मेरा गलती नहीं, आपका ही गलती है. If you're not learning, it's your mistake. In a way, it's your mistake. You might be forced to do it. You might not be forced to do it. But in a way, you're not looking out. If you're not looking out, it's like frog in a boiling water kind of situation. You know, the frog in a boiling water kind of situation, right? A frog, you put a frog in a boiling water and keeps hitting. Frog keeps adapting to the temperature till a point where it wants to jump out, but it has regulated, it has spent all its energy on trying to regulate its heat to that temperature of the water that now it cannot even jump out of the water and dies. So don't get stuck. If you feel something is going wrong, start searching out. I moved from Accenture to this company after 2 years with just 20% hike.
Okay.
With just 20% hike, right? But from here to the next role, I moved at 110% hike. This is something I only share in my paid one-on-one guidance on TopMate, but I'm going to share this here for free.
Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing good. We are back with a new video. This video is going to be really important for anyone who is from a non-CSIT background and still want to enter the software engineering career, right? So watch this video till the end, and before moving forward, take a moment to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you can get notification for all our upcoming videos. So for this session, we have a really special guest with us, Shrikanth. Shrikanth is currently working as a software engineer in Microsoft. In this session, we will discuss how he started his whole journey, and being from a non-CSIT background, how was he able to crack this role. And he will also be sharing few tips and strategies for all those guys out there who also want to start their journey being a software engineer, but they are from a non-CSIT background, right? So let's jump into the session without wasting any time. So hi Shrikanth, how are you?
Hi, Shivani. Thanks for having me here today. I'm great. What about you? How are you doing?
I'm also great, Shrikanth. So can we start with your introduction a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. So this is Shrikanth. I work as a software engineer at Microsoft. I work on the Bing search engine, and I have been with Microsoft for a year now. And I have worked in other companies such as VMware, Accenture, and also Virtusa before working at Microsoft.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Shrikanth, you are from a non-CSIT background and you have cracked Microsoft as a software engineer. So tell us a little bit about that. How were you able to do it? Walk us through
Yeah.
that journey a little.
Yeah. So I know that every other engineer or a college student who is about to graduate wants to get into this FANG range of companies, and who wants to get into something of Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Facebook, all these top companies, right? So the journey is not easy, but it's actually quite simple. So so the journey will vary a lot depending on where you come from, what background you come from, and what knowledge you have, how much effort you're going to put into it, and also the experience that you get in a company that you have worked before, or as a fresher there is a different strategy to actually adapt to get into a company like this. So let me share something about that. So let me speak about my journey. Right after my college, since I'm a native Bangalorean, not a Bangalorean, I'm from Karnataka, and I have been in Bangalore for more than 10, 12 years now. So here, the thing is, I'm from a tier 3 college, and right after college, so we had many obstacles in my way. I had many obstacles in my way. So I was only allowed to sit for one placement. Adobe came to my college, Amazon came to my college, but guess what? Accenture came to my college first. TCS came to my college first, and whoever got an offer from Accenture, TCS was not allowed to sit for any other placements after that. Even though at the time in 2017 when I passed out, the package offered was something around 18 lakhs by Adobe or so. I got a 3.5 lakhs from Accenture and I got my placement. I was not allowed to sit for anything else. But quite frankly, crack bhi nahi hota mera. Because I was not very, very well versed with many of the things that is needed today. I know for a fact that college students nowadays in third year of college, they have solved 500 plus DSA questions and solved many geeks for geeks questions. They read about articles, they have done internships and stuff like that. While I had done internships, but that was on the electronics and communication background and not really on the CS background. So, speaking about my journey, Shivani, when I joined Accenture, आई वॉज सो एक्सेंचर का ये एक स्ट्रीमलाइंड फेस होता है कि आपको एक ट्रेनिंग में डाला जाएगा, ठीक है, आपको एक ट्रेनिंग में पुट किया जाएगा और उस ट्रेनिंग को आपको 2 महीने में कंप्लीट करना है. सो यू विल हैव टू डू दैट ट्रेनिंग इन 2 months and that which technology will be put into is also not in your control. So you'll be put into a random set of technologies. While I was working on SQL initially, and many people were put in Java, some were put in C++, depends on the requirement of the company. And after your 2 months of training, you'll be put into again the project not of your choice. You don't have any option to choose the project, and you'll have to again wait for 2 months to get a project. So 2 months of training, and then you'll be in bench for 2 months, and then you'll get into a company. This is how it works at Accenture. So now you know that my experience with being, and guess what? I got into a support project initially.
Okay.
Yeah, with all due respect to all the projects as such, because they are needed for their own purposes. I like to be a dev, and I did not really like working on a support project where my only work for the day was running some SQL queries and gathering data and processing that data. So that is where my initial journey was.
Shrikant, that is a very interesting thing that you just shared with us. That in Accenture you were working in the support role, right?
Yeah.
So there was no software development as such there,
So,
right? And
yeah.
yeah, so and then you started it right after college. So in college also you did not do much coding. You were not really proficient at it, right?
Yeah.
So you will have to like share the whole
Yeah.
journey, like
Yeah. Yeah.
how was it possible? Like how did you
Yeah.
make it possible? Did
Yeah.
you start practicing questions while having the job, and how was the whole journey?
Yeah. So right after I got into the support role, I knew that this was not for me. I was like, okay, this is not what I want to do, because some of my friends were doing really well, and some of my friends were doing okay. So, anyways, I'm in a software role. So let's get into why I would get into software. Before proceeding, right? Let's get into why I would get into software rather than actually going into an electronics job, right? Many people would be wondering right now, इसको क्या ही जरूरत था एक्सेंचर में करने? मेरे पास ऑप्शन ही तो नहीं था.
Hmm.
So I had to get into the companies that were placed into. So, and why did I get into electronics then? So back in 2013, while I was joining engineering, actually 2012, if people of my generation will know, there was no unlimited Wi-Fi, nor did we have 1.5 GB of data per day.
Hmm.
Right, so all we had was 256 rupees for 1 GB of data. Now you'll consciously use every single MB of data there and consuming this data. Like, you did not have so many YouTubers up there trying to share their knowledge. So the knowledge you get right now, you might take it for granted, but it's not really to be taken for granted. Back then I had no one to guide me. Everyone told me electronics is nice, software is in the not in the boom right now, because it was just out of recession, 2009 recession, and people were like, oh no, jobs are going off, software acha nahi hai, tum jao electronics.
Hmm.
So, and there were some very funny suggestions as well. Like, people were like, the power is increasing everywhere, so electronics is better. So stuff like this, right? So I got into electronics, and anyway, after 2017, I realized, okay, this is not for me. I want to get into software. And while I was in Accenture, I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I started taking Udemy courses. I started reading blogs on my own, and I asked some of my friends what to do. And guess what? Nobody in my college, or nobody knew what to do. The rank holders from my college were in Accenture, and I was like, what do I do now? So I started searching for blogs. I started reaching out to some of my connections, and I started learning different things in a software field. So what I did initially was learn Java. While I had Java in one of my college curriculums, I was like, yeah, that was really basics, right? Because आप सबको पता होगा कि कॉलेज में जो टीच किया जाता है ना उसका the textbooks itself are very old, and every single technology is changing every single month. Angular, for example, they leave a new version every 6 months. जब तक textbook छापेगा next का, यहाँ तो technology बदल गया. So what you actually do is up to you to learn what you need to do. So coming to how I learned, I started learning Java, I started learning C++, and I was like, okay, I started, then I also learned Spring Boot and stuff, and I was like, हाँ, ये सही है पर कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो रहा है. I started giving interviews. Around 30 back-to-back interview failures. Oh yeah, 30 back-to-back interview failures. Guess the amount of pressure I would be going through and the amount of discouragement to know that okay, I probably lie on the bottom of the pile of engineers that company wants to hire, right? And किसका 30 back-to-back rejections होता है भाई?
So
तो
when you were sorry to cut you, Shrikant, when you were in Accenture only, you gave these 30 interviews.
30 interviews, yes,
Okay, while being in Accenture only, you gave and
while
got
being in Accent. Rejected 30 back-to-back rejections in a period of maybe 3 to 4 months. I was like, हाँ तो मुझे job कहीं भी मिल जाएगा. I was like, okay मिल जाएगा. कहाँ मिल रहा है job? So I was not getting any job anywhere. And then I was like, okay, something is wrong and I'm not doing something right. Because I still remember one of the interviews where I learned everything on my own, right? Like Udemy, I searched on Udemy, I read blogs, and I did my own projects, many projects. To be honest, I used to back then. There was no concept of laptops in Accenture, at least in my project. You
Okay,
go to the office at 8 o'clock, you sit in front of a desktop, and you come back in the cab at 5 o'clock.
okay,
I used to come back, and then I used to learn till 2 in the night. And I was like, okay, I was very confident. One of the times I was like, had an interview with Siemens, and I went very confidently, nicely dressed and stuff. हाँ, आज तो मिलने वाला है job अच्छे से. So it was the second round of interview, and guess what? Yes, what's your experience? अब क्या ही बताओ? Like you don't have any experience in the field. Then it started happening eventually in a period of 6 months that I started noticing that notice period also started becoming a problem. 3 months of notice period, nobody is ready to hire. Guess what? All the companies that want to hire people, I mean, I don't want to take any names. Some of the companies that wants to hire people, uh, they want to get people immediately, but when they leave their employees, it's 3 months ka notice period.
yeah,
That's very fair, right? So I was like, what to do now? So I prepared a lot. And what happened during my Accenture, I eventually moved out into the enhancement project. In a period of 6 months, I moved into enhancement projects and I started doing front end, a bit of front end.
okay,
ज्यादा बनाना कुछ नहीं था. कुछ बटन्स बनाने थे, उसको सर्कुलर शेप्स देने थे, उसको यहाँ चिपकाना था, स्टफ लाइक दैट. वेरी बेसिक फ्रंट एंड जो हम 2 मिनट में अभी बना देंगे. सो स्टफ लाइक दैट. एंड देन आई वाज लाइक, आई इवेंचुअली रियलाइज्ड दिस इज not really challenging. Now I'm able to understand more things because I moved from more of the backend things to more of UX. I was actually kind of moving to, because I also was doing more of automation, and then I slowly got into front end and was doing enhancement projects. That there is a point in time around 1.5 years. Now I had done quite a bit of projects in Accenture as well. There were some development projects also which I had worked on, enhancements, automations. It was a wide range of many things that I did. A bit of back end, front end, automation, Selenium ka, ये सब मैंने किया. But nothing so solid, like nothing I would say in a level of any product based company would do, right? Because I guess it's common in a service based company. 1.5 years down the line, around 1.5, somewhere between 1.5 2, I was like, abhi mujhe interviews are not going well because 3 months of notice period itself. So one fine day, even though I'm from a middle class background, I did not have a solid background or anything at the time. You know, we didn't even own our own house. We had loans, and we had some issues. Our land was stuck in some real estate and stuff like that, and we did not even have our own house. And I dropped my papers without any other offer in hand. And
You
that was because
were still in Accenture, right? You
still
already
in Accenture,
okay. So
job papers.
you gave in your papers without even having a job in your hand.
Without any offer. Yeah, my TL was a very good friend to me, and he was like, "Look, you're making a mistake. Don't do this. This is a mistake. You will not get a job anywhere else. Don't do stuff like this." I was like, I had a trusted friend, and she was like, "Do it." And another friend of mine, he was also like, "हाँ, do it. क्या ही हो जाएगा? 6 महीने में जॉब मिल ही जाएगा." I was like, it's मेरी बेइज्जती हो जाएगी. Like if I am sitting at home, and which is not really true. That is a very false notion, which I realized later on. And I dropped papers, and for 2 months, guess what? I did not get a single offer. Now the pressure was increasing. I did not crack a single interview, even though I was in a notice period. Finally, when I had 17 days or something left, I got an offer from a startup, which later got acquired by Virtusa.
Acha.
Okay,
Okay.
where I worked for a couple of weeks. A couple of months. So I joined Virtusa. Essentially, it was after a month after I joined, I got into Virtusa. By now, I knew React. By now, I knew JavaScript. I had put a lot of effort, and I got into this project where I was working as a contractual job from that company at Intuit.
Okay.
So I was not a full timer at Intuit. I was a contractor via that company. It's like that you're working for that company. It's like आप TCS में job कर रहे हो, पर आपका work location somewhere else है. It's like that. So
Hmm.
you're working at a client location kind of thing, not like a contractor maybe, like a client location. Okay.
Okay.
I was working like this. This is where I would say I gained all the knowledge I needed in the next 9 months that I needed to reach where I am. Right. And what I did there was I worked on React, and initially people were like, "You don't know anything," because what works on how it works in a product-based company is very, very, very different from how it works in a service-based company. Let me give an example, quote unquote, with all due respect to all the service companies out there, it's different. So
Okay.
while I was working in, at Virtusa via Intuit, at Intuit via Virtusa, it was very hard for me. I was like, they were giving me features. Oh, develop this flow, workflow. I was like, how do I do this? How do I architect things? Because I've never architected things before. And guess what? It becomes, this is a note to everyone who's watching this YouTube video. Do not get stuck in a same company if you're not getting opportunities to learn. Learning is your key to success. If you don't learn, start looking out. Why? Because 2 years down the line, people are going to ask you what you have done for 2 years before. And it's not going to be like, वहां मुझे opportunities नहीं मिला तो वो मेरा गलती नहीं, आपका ही गलती है.
Hmm.
If you're not learning, it's your mistake. In a way, it's your mistake. You might be forced to do it. You might not be forced to do it. But in a way, you're not looking out. If you're not looking out, it's like frog in a boiling water kind of situation.
Hmm.
You know, the frog in a boiling water kind of situation, right? A frog, you put a frog in a boiling water and keeps hitting. Frog keeps adapting to the temperature till a point where it wants to jump out, but it has regulated. It has spent all its energy on trying to regulate its heat to that temperature of the water that now it cannot even jump out of the water and dies.
Yeah.
So don't get stuck. If you feel something is going wrong, start searching out. I think that's the one thing that I did right back in Accenture.
Hmm.
So here I struggled every single day. Again, till 4 o'clock. I still remember doing projects till 4 o'clock. I have gotten every single Udemy course that probably are in the top 10 list to learn React, to learn JavaScript in depth, and all these things. I have probably like so many subscriptions and so many courses that other people give me, videos and whatnot, where I learned from things from free places, from places where I can get it for free, from paid courses, offers on Udemy. I have everything. So I learned so many courses from so many places because I kept feeling till I felt that whatever was happening in a company was not aligned with what people taught in Udemy. So this is where I learned. And 9 months later, there was a time when COVID happened, and I had a risk of losing my job, but not really. I wouldn't have lost my job because that's what I realized later. But at the time, I was thinking, oh, I might lose my job. And then I was like, I was not getting a proper hike, and um, the work culture was not really great. So what I did this time, I did not put my papers. I started searching out, and within 15 days, I got an offer for almost double the package. Right?
Okay.
But I moved from Accenture to this company after 2 years with just 20% hike.
Okay.
With just
Great.
20% hike. Right? But from here to the next role, I moved at 110% hike.
Okay.
Almost 100%, almost 100% hike. So what I did was like, right now, then like, why are you leaving the company? You are doing really great. By then, I had a good reputation in the company because I had solved so many problems, and I was able to adapt to things. But all these places, what I was doing, right? DSA here and there, DSA here and there, keep learning DSA here and there. But for all these companies, DSA doesn't really matter because all these
Okay.
companies doesn't ask you much of DSA. They focus
Hmm.
more on practical. And the first offer from this company was from a startup.
Okay.
And but then obviously I was giving other interviews and I got into Dansky IT. But that was not really a ethical problem from my side. What happened was I had applied for VMware. I had a
Hmm.
referral from VMware, and right about the time when I was about to get an offer from VMware, something got stopped on the VMware side, and they halted it. And I took the next best thing in my plate, that was Dansky IT.
Great.
And within a month, within 15 days, um, Dansky people were like, no, not Dansky, VMware people were like, can you come join us? I was so pissed at the time. I was like, I waited for you. I even pushed my joining date for you, and you did not give me the offer. Now why are you asking? Then the director, who is an amazing guy, I really respect him a lot till date because he has been like a mentor to me, a guide to me, and he's an amazing guy who I worked for. The director at VMware called me and he was like, you know what? That was not our fault. Things went wrong, and we want you to join here, and we'll give you a revised hike over what you currently have. And this is where things changed for me. From the 100% hike that I had already gotten, I got another 100% hike
Crazy.
within a month. So it was like I moved directly from what I had in Virtusa to where I was at around 300% hike.
Crazy.
Overall was a 300% hike. That's where things changed. And VMware, to everyone who's interviewing with VMware, to everyone who wants to work like in a company like VMware, uh, go for it. VMware is one of the places you will learn a lot. The work culture is amazing. People are amazing. You would love to work there. You learn a lot. You have so many extra advantages of working there. Like you keep getting gifts. You get so many perks. Let's just put it like you get so many perks of working at VMware. Plus the salary and stocks is also great. So now, one thing that I would like to thank God for, I believe in Mantralayam, and I would thank Guru Raghavendra Swami, where I believe in, for this, because every single time I got a new project, like a newbie, like a project from the scratch to work on. Intuit from the scratch. Dansky IT, I went and worked for a month. I built the architecture of the project there in a month, in 1.5 months, and they wanted me to stay there a lot. But the manager is an amazing guy. He told me, if you're going, where are you going? I said VMware. Go for it. It's a better company for you to work for. Go. So there I architected things VMware from the scratch. And I got to learn so many things in 1.5 years because the work pressure was intense. But there was an architect who I was working with. His name was Vinish, and he guided me a lot. And he's still in contact with me. He's an amazing guy to work with. He's an amazing architect, amazing human being, most of all. And I got to learn so many things at VMware while working with him and the rest of the team. And the 1.5 years of work was equivalent to 3 years of work. And I had delivered so many features. And that is a career changing, that laid the foundation to coming to Microsoft. Because that is, if not for VMware, if for any other experience, probably I wouldn't have cracked Microsoft. This is where I wanted to do it. But again, VMware also asks DSA. So every here and there, before the interview and before the things, I was practicing DSA in a very intense way. For 1 month, 2 months, I was practicing. But DSA was never an addiction to me.
Hmm.
It's still not an addiction to me. I'm addicted to learning new technologies. If I find something new, I learn it. If I find something new on TypeScript, I learn it. If I find some article, I will just read the whole damn article from the beginning to the end, what's going on. That's how you learn new things, because nobody's going to spoon feed you things. But I'm still not addicted to DSA, but DSA is a very important part in problem solving. Even though you are a good problem solver and you can solve your problems, like you're a backend engineer and you can solve problems, you're a front end engineer, you can solve your problems, UX design problems. I'm a UI engineer, and so I you do I contribute to design, plus I work on UI, and that lays a foundation to that. My first interview with the team in Microsoft, I cannot mention the team. So I interviewed and I reached the seventh round of interview and I got rejected for some reason, and I realized that it was because of DSA. And I was like, okay, because I was asked probably a graph problem or something, and I did not do really well. And I was like, okay, something is wrong. And then, right before cracking this interview at Microsoft, I had 7 rejections back to back from different companies. Uh, and this this is something I only share in my paid one-on-one guidance on TopMate, but I'm going to share this here for free, and take this as a take this however you see fit, and pick up the things from that what you want to. So when you fail in an interview, 90% of the things that people make a mistake in is they give another interview. They keep giving the interviews. They don't analyze what's going wrong. What I did, every single interview, I wrote down the questions, and I wrote down the questions that they asked and the answers that I said in the interview. I had a sheet where I put it in parallel. Round one, these questions. Round two, round three, round four, round five, whatever rounds of all the companies. And I circled down what are the questions that I did not answer correctly. And I got a pattern that, oh, this is the thing that I was making a mistake. And I realized that right then it was some parts of DSA that I was not doing great. That's probably why I'm doing not doing so well. So what I did, I again took out lead code, practiced. I have a different approach to DSA, guys, and this might be very different than many people do. Many people say everyday challenge for 360 days, solve every single problem in the problem on the internet and stuff like that. No, understand DSA the way it's created. What people do when you solve a binary search problem, do you actually create the node and tree? You don't. You just do new node of, and then you create a node and then you do it. What I do is I actually write the binary tree or a stack, how it works from the root things that you have. Like create an array based on just your code. Like write the push methods, the pop methods. Don't just add them. Don't just use dot push dot add. How does it work? Write these things. This is when you don't have to solve so many lead code stuff. You just have to understand the data structure from the bottom, from the foundation. Then you will know exactly how it works. As long as you have the idea in your head, you can solve the problems. Is how I think about it. But having said that, solving many problems and practicing it is as important as understanding the data structure. So understand this, and then start solving problems on lead code, and keep yourself, sharpen your knife, if I may, and keep solving these problems on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, and then uh, try to give interviews. So what is important, while I was giving interview, the next time I interviewed with Microsoft, I cracked it, because I was asked so many DSA, system design, and front end questions. It worked. It went well for me, and thank God I was able to crack Microsoft. This is my journey from Accenture to a long journey from Accenture to Microsoft.
Yeah, I think that was a crazy journey that you had so far, right? And I think in this one question only, you have shared a lot of insightful, lessons to a lot of people out there who are just starting with, finding a new job. So, Shrikant, one thing that I would like to ask from you is that when you were in Accenture, to get a software development job in a good company, you started preparing on your own, right? You did
Yeah,
not
yeah,
look for any other an online coaching or anything. You started with the
no,
Udemy courses, and you started reading blogs a lot, and you will keep practicing every day, right? So
yeah.
can you tell us few things that you faced, few problems that you faced at that time, which you think if you had तो थोड़ा टाइम बच जाता, मतलब ऐसा होता है ना कि फॉर
Yeah,
एग्जांपल if there was someone to help you out with your queries, or if there
yeah.
was a mentor whom you can discuss कि what kind of projects you can just make
Yeah,
already, so that जो इतनी लंबी जर्नी
yeah,
आपने इतने rejections face किए वो कम हो जाते हैं. So can you share any of those pointers which if you had taken care of, the thing,
yeah.
the ride would have been smoother? Yeah.
Very good question. What happened was as I told you, right? I went into the wrong path a lot of times. So you
Yeah.
want to reach from A to B. I went to C. I went to D. Came back to A. Then went to D. Then again came back to B. Then went right. Always find a good mentor. I did not have a mentor. That's why I had to always go find the wrong path and understand that, oh, I wasted the last 2 months of my life. There was a time I learned some library in CSS. I don't remember, which I spent 2 months learning. And then I was like, this is not even used anywhere. And then I came back. Well, did I use it in any company? No, not anywhere. And I was like, somebody told me that, it's good, or some YouTube channel. So, no, find the right mentor.
Hmm.
You don't have to choose me. You don't have
Hmm.
to choose Shivani. Don't choose anyone you want who you can trust on, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, I do provide guidance online as well, but you can choose anyone. But find a roadmap where you want to go from A to B. How do you need to go from A to B? Find that path and then start learning. Share your problems with that person. Say that, okay, this is where I am. This is what I know. These are my strong points. These are my weak points. How do I reach this point? Right now, that person, if he's a good person, if he's a no if he's a good guide, he or she will teach you what to do. Even if you pay a small amount, 1K, 2K, 3K to that person, it's worth it, trust me, because you will reach there much sooner. You'll reach there much sooner. Take the one time guidance if you need to, and then try to start your path. That's a mistake I have made, and I would have saved at least a year to reach Microsoft if I had done that before. And right now, I have mentors. I have the mentor that I told you about from VMware. I have a mentor that at Microsoft as well, who I take guidance from to learn what I'm not at the top of the ladder, right? So I want to learn. Nobody ever reaches the top of the ladder in software. No, it's not that way. You keep learning, technology keeps improving. Technology is God. So you keep learning what you need, what you want, and every now and then you need to keep updating yourself. Not even every now and then, every day you need to keep updating yourself. And for that, you need guidance. So you'll always have a mentor, but to get a job, first you need a mentor,
Hmm.
and use that mentor to get the right path, and ask them to analyze what they want, what's the right path to reach there. And trust me, guess you're at 5 lakhs right now, right? And you want to reach 15 lakhs. Right now it might feel that, oh, spending 5K is a big thing, but trust me, you reach that 15 lakhs 1 year before. You'll be making 15 lakhs more by spending
Hmm.
5,000 rupees, if you don't spend now and if you leverage that person correctly. So I think finding a mentor, either for free or paid, is the right thing to do. Free preferably. Ask anyone, like, who you think is in a good place, who is ready to help you. Reach out to that person and take guidance.
Yeah, it just saves time, right? I mean, you can be
Exactly.
doing things a little bit even faster, and there are a lot of people who are having that wisdom now, right? So it doesn't just harm you to, just listen to them, follow the roadmap that they're sharing, and just consistently practice coding questions every day, and you'll reach there soon, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So, Shrikant, like you mentioned that right after Accenture, you joined a startup, right? And then
Yeah.
you worked on things from the scratch. So you are someone who basically had a very roller coaster ride. I mean, you started with an MNC company, and then you started with a startup, and then you again went to a good company, and then you're working for a giant like Microsoft, right? So tell us a few differences between, how is it for working a startup, right? What kind of opportunities and problems that a person face? You said
Yeah.
that you work on projects from scratch, right? So you had to do a lot of things. You had to build, like you mentioned, architect आपको create करना था, right? And
Yeah.
उसके बाद now you're working in a giant like Microsoft, जहाँ पे आपको कुछ छोटा सा project या मतलब you are such a small thing in such a in a big machine, right? So tell us few differences and few opportunities a person can have while working in startup and while working in MNCs.
Yeah. Sure. तो ये बहुत वेरिड हो जाता है कि आप कौन से स्टार्टअप में वर्क कर रहे हो वर्सेस विच एमएनसी यू आर वर्किंग इन, एंड ये बहुत डिफर करेगा आपके लिए। पर
Okay.
जब आप स्टार्टअप में काम करते हैं, सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी लाइक, you will be owning a whole module. You will be asked to design a whole module. or own it and be the owner of it from end to end, like front end, back end, everything आपको सब कुछ करना होगा. एंड बात ये है कि वहां पे वर्क कल्चर इतना अच्छा होगा ये आपको पता नहीं. आपका जॉब कब तक रहेगा ये कंपनी पे डिपेंड करेगा. एंड colleagues, it's like a small family in which you're working for, where you will be even speaking to the CEOs. You'll be speaking to there might not be even a concept of manager. At least for me, I was speaking to the CEO all the time, the CTO, CEO, and all the time. So startup is going to be a great experience provided you're up for the challenge. And this is not a gyan that I'm giving to you guys. No, and this is not a diplomatic answer as well. Trust me, it depends on the startup you work for, and it's the amount of are you ready for it? Are you ready to put the effort day and night for it? And after all that, you'll get a lot of experience. But what you gain, you learn, you'll get the breadth in a startup, but you'll get the depth in a MNC. Let me explain that very well. In a startup, you will do the front end, the back end, and many other things, but they will probably not focus on code quality. They will not probably focus on the perfect technology for it because they're running against time. They're funded. Essentially, they'll be funded, right? So to reach there, it's going to be so they will be like get it done kind of mentality. Get it done. You use some wrong ways to do it. Sometimes it's okay for now. Hacks, it's okay, but get it done. That's why I said breadth. But you'll be touching many things. You might be touching JavaScript, you might use Node.js, you might reach any kind of DBs. So you might do a lot of things there. But in an MNC, especially in a big MNC, it's going to be very different. You will be owning a particular module, but probably only front end for you, not the back end. Back end, there will be another owner. Even in a big feature, there will be three owners for the feature. Like that person owns something else, this person owns something else. But code quality, they will not let it go. You have a PR out for 5 days, you don't do it the right way, it's not going in. It's your problem. You have to do it the right way, the most efficient way. Why is DSS so important when you come to a company like Microsoft? Because you learn about time complexity, you learn about space complexity. Those things really matter. Because even us, we give reviews like, okay, this approach will save you time. This approach is going to save you space. And why? Because for a big company, code quality matters because they cater millions, if not billions, of customers, right? So that matters, code quality matters, and they are not looking to build some code that they will put away for in 6 months and rebuild it again. No, they are planning to build something that will be scalable, that will be robust, and they have like companies like Microsoft have security threats day in day out, right? Because people will be trying to target them. So it's very important to not create loopholes and stuff like this. So what you will learn in a startup versus, so you learn the depth and you learn the breadth in a startup. But if you want to gain the breadth and the depth in a company like Microsoft, you will have to work like 20 hours a day. So you'll be owning many things, and you'll be working really hard. So that's also possible. But the opportunities to learn, what you learn in a big company will be is something that you will not learn probably anywhere else. Even in a small MNC, you might not learn that.
Okay. So I think it all depends on the kind of startup that you're working in, right? And also
Yeah,
where you are in your entire career transition, right? If you are someone who
exactly.
is very young, who has worked in a multinational company and not learning much, and you want to explore a lot of other things, then you can go for a startup and you can do your best. But if you want that, now that you have had quite a few experiences building things, and now you want to go for a bigger company, that also you can do. It all
That
depends
also
on
works.
kind of MNC that you're working in.
Yeah, yeah.
ठीक है, cool. So Shrikant, now one thing that I would like to ask now, which is something which I'm sure a lot of people struggle with, especially people like you who have had quite experiences, right? You started with an MNC and then you kept on working hard, right? You gave so many interviews. So even though you faced a lot of rejections, right? I mean, 30 interviews and then not getting selected in any of them, and still pursuing that one goal that you have, right? So can you share what was that one thing that kept you going? And plus uh, there was never a moment for you that you thought ki I think software engineering is not for me, right? So
Oh,
for people like
I
them, I just want you to share
so
that. that keeps you going, and
Yeah.
how should one just not give up and continue pursuing what they actually love?
Okay. So I was also a photographer, and in my part time, I was doing wedding shoots. I had a whole team of my own where I used to do wedding photography and stuff like this. So
Okay.
at a point in time, while I was failing, I was like, why not do this wedding photography as my uh, profession? I mean, it's a very good profession, right? So
It's a
it gives you money. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, why not quit software? And there were some reasons because I was always passionate about technology and the travel thing. I like to be at one place. Even like I like to spend time with family and friends. So that is something that you'll get in software. And I like consistency. Like I like X amount of money in my account every end of the month. So those things is what got me into kept me in software. But most of all, it was my family. Like whenever I wanted to quit, my mom and dad had been very supportful of it, and they told me that no, you can do it. Any single thing they keep telling you can do it. They probably think I cannot do it, but they'll still tell me you can do it, and that actually gets you to do it. People, and it's moreover, it's God, right? There is nothing for me. It's God. Like if you, it's anything that you believe in. As I said, I believe in Mantralayam, so I believe that it's the Guru Raghavendra Swami who helped me get there. So it's just not. It depends, right? So I have seen people who put as much effort as I did, but still cannot do it. But I probably put the same effort, and I got here because you need both. You need to. People call this blessing of God as luck. You call it luck, or you call it anything you want. So that factor definitely weighs out, but that's not everything. Hard work is always about, you can always get there a proper effort that you put. Plus, of course, without God, you cannot do any of this. For me, at least that's what I believe. I'm a strong believer. Uh, with that, you can get there. So you need your family's support. Moreover, more than anything, you need your family's support. If they tell you तुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा, आपसे नहीं हो पाएगा, even though you can do it, you will not be able to do it. But if you have a supporting family who tell you that yes, you can do it, at least there is no negativity. You don't need positivity. If you have no negativity, keep yourself away from negativity. That's the learning from all this gyan that I'm giving. Keep yourself away from negativity. Keep focusing. And if you don't have positivity, take this from my side. You can do it. Anyone can do it. If you put your hard work, as long as you're not lazy, spending your time on Netflix whole day, you can do it. Or scrolling Instagram. Time is money. Time is money.
Great, great. I think that was a very useful piece of advice, Shrikant. Okay, so that was about how someone prepares for getting a software engineering job and how one should not give up. So, Shrikant, one question that I would like to ask now about would be, the process of finding jobs, right? So, you said that you applied to a lot of companies out there. You kept on getting rejected, and you still persisted, and then you still, kept on giving interviews. So again, उस पूरे process में भी there were some, there were some क्या बोल सकते हैं, some things that you did wrong, right? So अब
Yeah.
आप वो भी थोड़ा बता सकते हो, like for all the students out there who are just out of college, who maybe did not do their engineering from a tier 1 college, they are from tier 3 college, not many good companies came to their college, so they are
Okay.
applying to multiple job portals, right?
Yeah.
They're good with
Yeah.
DSA, they have prepared, but now they want to apply to the right portal so that they get
Okay.
job faster. So can you share
Got
a
it.
few resources and places where people can actually apply, so that जो पूरा process है apply करने का, job लेने का, वो
Hmm.
थोड़ा कम time में उन्हें मिल जाए, right? And you can also
Yeah.
share how LinkedIn can also be helpful in that.
Yeah. So this is something that people will not share with you because this is actually a secret.
Okay.
Uh, every job is 80% communication and 20% skills.
Okay.
This you might have heard about this, but this is true, and I have lived it. It's 80% communication, 20% skills. Why? Because you go to a doctor, and if that doctor is going to be like this tablet one times a day, two times a day. Other guys like, how are you doing? Are you fine today? You'll be well. Have you had breakfast? Which guy are you going to come back visit again? Right? It's going to be the second guy. So anywhere when you are talking in an, like when you're giving interviews, be humble, Be open about what you know. If you don't know, just tell that, hey, this is what I know about it. I might be wrong, and I'm planning, and I will definitely learn about this after this interview. Right? These are things which really matter, really matter. And how to prepare in terms of tech. So prepare a strategy for yourself with the time that you have. Put some time for DSA. Put some time for becoming strong in your technology. As a front end engineer, I should know how exactly JavaScript works, how HTML, CSS works, what is the in-depth technology secrets, or maybe what do you say, technicalities of how it works, and you know, and what are the frameworks that I need to know, what's running more in the market. And when don't put anything that you don't know in the resume. If you don't know, don't put it, because people will look at your resume and then try to filter. And have a clean and neat resume. DSA, you need to show project experience, and then you need to show your technical skills in the resume. And then the next thing that you need to put is you need to have is a clean resume, not a cluttered resume where you have so many things. I worked on that, I brought 40% more enhancement. No, just put what is relevant what is relevant to the other person. So I'm just giving you an example. So when you speak about technology, you speak about React, say that I know I have worked on these technologies in React, rather than just telling that these are the projects that I worked on. While it is important to put the projects, it is also important to weigh equally on, what you have worked on, as in terms of technology that is understandable to the other person. Um, the next thing is, be very strong at what you're working on, know about your stuff. And if you have more than 2 to 3 years of experience, system design matters. So start learning about different kinds of design patterns, architectures, and how to do it the right way. There are so many GitHub repositories. Check for GitHub repositories and start learning from them. And everything there is not correct, because there are people's opinions there. So try to figure out what is right, find patterns, read articles, read Medium articles, check YouTube and blogs. There are many blogs where you can learn the architecture. So system design matters. And then DSA, that's consistency. You need to keep solving and keep learning. So, and then just keep solving one problem a day or something like that on different areas before your interview. And right before your interview, have a have like a um, list where you're good at, which you're good at, and which you're not good at, and then prepare the things that you're not good at. Focus on them. I usually had it like, for example, I don't consider myself an expert in graphs. So I keep checking like graphs right before the interview, and understanding that, okay, this might be something that's most asked, and I should prepare for this. And for every company, there are always most asked questions and stuff like that. So check them and try to understand what's going on. And you cannot prepare for a LLD or HLD perfectly. Like if what you because you don't know what they're going to ask, right? So you need to know how the architecture works in reality to be able to answer the question in the interview. And coming to job portals, I got to Microsoft via Naukri. I was reached out by an HR in Naukri.
Okay. Okay, great. That is great piece of advice, Shrikanth. Again, I'm sure people listening to this will find it really helpful and follow the exact sort of a roadmap, so that it's easier for them to just apply for jobs and also hear back from them as well. That is it from our end. Anything else you would like to share, or any one sort of advice that you would like to end this with?
Yeah, sure. So everyone who is struggling to get a job in any level or any years of experience that you might have, right out of college maybe, or 2 years of experience, 1 year of experience, if you feel stagnant, now is the time to start learning and trying to move out to a place where you want to. If you want to be a developer, it's not something that if you're happy where you are, great. If you are not happy where you are, but you're still staying there, that might be a wrong step towards the wrong path actually. So you should probably start learning right now. And if you are a person who's giving interviews, try to find out what's going wrong, and try to picturize what's going wrong, and try to find the right path for yourself. If you cannot get help in any of these things, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, or Shivani, or any other good uh, a guide who you can find. It doesn't need to be me, it might be your friend. Reach out to them and try to get help, because it's always good to have a second set of eyes to get a better perspective.
Okay. Great. I think that was an amazing advice, Shrikant. Okay, so that's it. I think we can end it here. It was a really
Yeah,
insightful session. I'm sure people listening to your whole story would definitely get inspiration, right? Because it's never an easy journey, right? So I'm pretty
yeah,
sure this will be really useful for anyone who's listening.
yeah,
Okay. So that was it, guys. That was Shrikant for you. I hope you guys learned a lot from his journey. You can apply the similar lessons in your life. And like he mentioned, having a mentor always, helps you in the long run. So he made the mistake of not having a mentor in his life. You guys can avoid that. You guys can go and check out our coding courses on our website. You can just enroll in any of the courses that you like. You just give the skill eligibility test, and whatever the test suggests you is the right track for you. You can also seek guidance from us by just reaching out to us. So choose whatever track you want, and being associated with AccioJob will always help you, because we have great mentors associated with us who will help you out in each and every step of the way. You can ask all your queries, you can have one-on-one doubt resolution sessions, and you get a ton of questions to solve from. So go there, register yourself, and get started on this software journey today. And I hope you guys all liked it with Shrikant. Please like and share the video, and don't forget to comment down below your queries so that we can cover them in our next session. And if you guys are new to our channel, then don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the notification for all our upcoming videos. And yeah, thank you so much.